Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody doing?
Stress.
Beautiful. It's beautiful outside. It's so much nicer than that crap yesterday. Everybody feeling good? Good weekend? Action?
Good weekend. It was nice.
What happened? Just hibernation? You guys go out there and crush it in the hail?
Writing offers and losing. I'm getting good at it though.
Yeah. It sounds like you're sharpening your skill set. What's keeping you from getting the offers together?
Price, bidding wars, the mindset that why do people list it at one price and then they're going 1 to whatever 100 over, and
And the crazy thing is, like, they sort of price it higher than anything's ever sold for. So it's not, I mean, what I've found is that you're as a listing agent, like, hey, this is sort of a really good price.
Yeah.
And then it just gets blown out of the water anyways. So It's hard to blame. I mean, if you have listing agents that are listing too low, then like that's just causing some chaos.
Yeah, no, it's not stupid low. They're decent prices. And I've been saying to the current buyers, I'm like, if my wife and I were looking for a home right now and I saw this house and it was in our budget, which it is, like same as you guys, I'd be comfortable paying this price. Do I feel that I need or want to tack on an extra 50 or 100 just to get it? No, that'd piss me off too.
Yeah. Just so you're not homeless, and now you're yeah. There is no rhyme or reason for how much longer this should last, but people get emotional. You guys have all seen auctions, if not been to them, and this is what happens. People make bad decisions when you're trying to one up each other or feeling that pressure. And this is like the reality of what this is, and it won't be much longer. I every person I talk to, every agent that I've spoken to in the last week, has been like, feels like it's slowing down. Hey, the brakes are we're hitting the brakes a little bit. Yeah, feels like that. Yeah. Everybody across the board, same conversation. So it's not like we're not coming to a hard stop, but we're just slowing. And can you get me some more coffee? Didn't work.
That was a no, by the way.
Yeah, it's just gonna look. Anyway, it's a good sign. It's coming. It's like we're like I said last week, we're gonna see this all of a sudden. Deals are just gonna come together. Buyers are gonna be happy. Sellers are gonna be happy. People will list their home because they've been waiting for something to come on the market, and now that's on the market. So a bunch more inventory will spike because of that too. So rest easy. It's around the corner. Spring is here. Look at this. It's beautiful outside. Go knock on some doors. Go find some more inventory. People are definitely thinking list now. So if you got buyers, you're there. So what else is happening? Tell me what happened this weekend. Oh my God, it worked.
I did some good FSBO calling this last week. A lot of FSBO calling and like emailing.
How the emails work?
Not bad. Honestly, I'm mostly just going, like, I'm asking like, hey, can I come and preview the property? And seeing if I can just get in the door and kind of make face and then go from there. And then, usually I get a phone number. And now then you can follow up with them and check in and see how it's going. So, because there's a lot on there that don't have their numbers listed. So I just send an email. Hey, I'm a local realtor. I'd love to come preview the property. We work, like, my office works with many buyers. Let me know when I can come see it. So I had a couple of those. I'm going to see one today, actually. And I actually have a buyer in the area. So I was bringing my buyer along to see it as well. I think he's way overpriced, but who knows in this market anymore? I also, right after our call on Monday there, I called a bunch of expireds. I actually got a listing appointment with one for like a couple days after, and went in, and it was a pretty good listing presentation. I think I gave him some really good value, although he was not ready to sign any paperwork. But I got an idea of where he's going and where he needs to be. He still wants to try it a bit on his own. So I'm just doing weekly check-ins and following up and trying to be like, when are you sick of doing it yourself? Because, yeah.
That's awesome, man. And I'll tell you what, how much competition do you have with these guys?
Like, honestly, nobody's really getting there and just like seeing them. A lot of people are saying that they just get a lot of people calling and being like, yeah, can I list your place? Like, I think definitely trying to get just your foot in the door first and like make face. It's the best way. Like, hey, like I did use the line like, oh, it sounds like we should meet this week to like go over a few things and kind of figure out what's the best marketing strategy forward for your property. And that got me the appointment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many people are actually like getting the appointments, but he hadn't met with anybody else.
I think that's my point though, is that like you're having a conversation with someone that literally is wanting to sell their home in weeks and will be on the market in weeks. They're not even getting approached or met with by other agents. And so now you're really setting yourself up to, list this property just by following up a few times.
Yeah.
And that's all it really is, right? It's not rocket science, and just be helpful and don't hard close them. List. Like,
yeah.
How can I help you? How can I make your life easier? Would you like to see some stats? Do you want to talk about where you're moving? Let's talk about me helping you in anything to do with real estate. And then naturally there's going to be, we want to list our house. Okay. We give up. All right. I cut my own hair. It doesn't look good. I've mowed my own lawn. It didn't look right. So now I'm giving up to the professionals, and there you are. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just, you gotta think about it.
Something like really powerful too is just being like, yo, like how many websites are you currently on right now? Like you're wanting to get, I know the market's crazy right now. The market's crazy, but like how much exposure are you actually getting? You're like on Craigslist. I'm on Kijiji. It's like, okay, when you list on the MLS, you're on like 370 sites. So how much exposure do you want? Do you want four appointments in 4 weeks, or do you want 40? Like,
So what happens if I offered you, I'll give you a 2-week listing. So give me 2 weeks to sell your home. And if it doesn't sell, we'll cancel the listing. So you let me put this on the market. We'll do all the staging and photos and floor plans and all this stuff. And if it doesn't work, you'll reimburse me, or maybe we'll half it, whatever it is, because I'll take the risk. And at the end of the day, if I can sell your home in 2 weeks, would it be worth us sitting down and talking?
That's a good idea. It's a good line. Because right now, really, places are on the market for maybe 10 days.
Yeah.
12 days.
But give me the benefit of the doubt. Give me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm confident I can do
this. To show you that I can do this, right? Like, what's 2 weeks anyway? You're planning to, do this. You've already been doing this for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So give it a shot.
So let's say that you found an offer. You get an offer from your marketing. I'll help you write the contract, and I'll negotiate with you, and I'll do it for a flat fee. But if I bring the buyer through my efforts, is it agreed that I earn what I take?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
There you go.
Sweet, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I expect like 4 or 5 FSBOs this week. Yeah, no good, man. I'm just proud of you for going out there and doing it. It's not rocket science. Just like going on, feeling it out a bit, realizing how far you can push them. And usually you're not like, because everyone else is doing exactly, they're like, hey, you want to list with me? And then it says at the bottom, I told you, don't call me if you want to list my home. So then you get into this altercation right off the bat versus, hey, where are you moving? Can I help you with that? Let's talk about what your goals are in real estate. Just being curious and helpful goes a lot further, and their guard gets let down, and then you flank them. Anyway, so.
Can I just ask, hey, Nicholas, how many hours do you think you put into that?
I did about, I'd say 5 hours of research this week, just like calling, looking up the FSBOs, and kind of follow up. It was really easy, honestly.
And yeah, you can create a quick follow-up plan with that. So like this week I talked to you on the phone. Next week I'm going to send you a stats report. Next week I'll send you a CMA of the properties in your neighborhood. Like, so it's like you don't have to overthink this. It's like, here's your follow-up plan for 6 weeks of what I will do for each FSBO, and then you put them into a drip campaign, whatever, and that's it. And then you guys set it, forget it. All you have to do is call them Mondays, call them Fridays. What are you doing for opens? Oh man, we got 15 showings on my listing over here. How many do you have? Crickets. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, let's talk to you on Monday. You know what I mean? So don't overthink it. Just create a plan, do something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've already got them kind of set up in my database. Yeah, I should try and do that, like little touches of value. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks.
That's why we come here. So anybody else? What are we doing? What happened this week? I love that you did that. Like, actually took action, Nick. That's it's going to pay off. And the cool part is you're battling with people that are sharpening your skills more than you'll ever know. Because when you're handling FSBOs, you can handle, like, your sphere becomes like a joke. Like, give me an objection. Come on. Like anyone else out there, let's go. Like you're fearless to a sense, right?
I find it's like really good for learning how to negotiate your commission and just like knowing your value. Because that's going to be your biggest objection out the gates is
absolutely
commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There's lots of objections, and it's good. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube too, just watching live cold calling FSBOs or expireds, and really good resources. So if other people want to check those out.
I agree.
Yeah, if you don't mind linking some there, Nicholas. But I'm doing pretty good. But I tell you right now, I want more listings, and I have huge expectations of myself in the next 5 years. So, and I know FSBO is going to be one of those directions, and it drives me crazy that I haven't done it. Like, I don't know why I'm doing it it's not like I can't talk to people. And the reason I was asking for 5 hours is prospecting in general, the way we have our system up, I could spend 5 hours calling people and go nowhere. Where that is value right there. You have someone who's ready to list. And listing is usually you're gonna times it, right? It's gonna be, so it's a list and a buy, and it's not that difficult to put in 10 hours to make $25,000.
Literally, he was my third call and had an appointment. So it doesn't take long. I've just been doing more of like email follow up too. But yeah, the calling, like when you get them, it's just really rare to find when they have their numbers associated on the listings. But yeah, when you do, and if you're good on the phone, you can do it.
It sounds like the Knicks need to be scripting together. You guys need to role-playing FSBOs, and iron sharpens iron, right? So you guys should definitely connect and do that. And if I were doing that, if I were you guys' shoes, I would say, okay, what are you sending over? What are you talking to them about? What's the strategy? Like, you guys are just gonna strategize how to, what the best items of value are to send over, how the initial conversation goes, and then the relationship building from there, and like figuring that out. Yeah, you might run into a few of the same people, so then you co-list them, right? But at the end of the day, like, this is where you guys help each other build a system out here, and then you just write it out. Okay, that's what we're doing from now on. You guys should be Nick Squared FSBO team. I don't care, whatever it is. Like, make a point to work together to help each other figure this out. Because it's not rocket science, like you said, just doing it, but then consistently, and then some sort of a system moving forward, just like with expireds or whatever else. Once you systemize it, it's easy. And then you have someone else do half of that, the email part of it for you, as if like your assistant is sending over, okay, every FSBO that hits the market. You guys, have you ever heard of IFTTT? If this, then that. So when a new for sale by owner hits Craigslist, it sends you an automatic email saying, this seller in the Tri-Cities just listed their condo at blah, blah, and it comes directly to your email instead of you having to go on and check it every day. You could have someone in the Philippines or whatever automatically sending them your system, and then eventually when you get the phone call, they say, hey, they got a phone number here, time to make a call. Whatever you guys do, but there's money to be made. There you go. Come on, show me some more, throw me some more stuff here. What do you got? Anybody else? Wins,
Well, I took my buyers out for a condo again this weekend. We looked at about 5 properties. I think they're interested in about 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
The only catch is that they have to be out of their rental by April 15th. So that's been tough in terms of meeting the seller's request dates. But at the end, they're like, oh, price is determining everything. So if we get a good price, the dates don't matter. So now it's kind of like, sorry?
You're short on time. They're going to start to matter. You're going to, yeah.
So any tips on how I can kind of close them today, tomorrow or Wednesday?
Well, the renting, so dates are flexible until that day. They have a clean offer. Like, where are they at financially? Can they go subject at least to just appraisal, or what's the plan there?
They possibly could, but I think their mortgage broker's more comfortable just having that clause in there.
Oh yeah, sure. Mortgage broker wants to be. Can you give me a 30-day subject removal? But what I'm going to do is, can you give me the MLS, the title, the PDS, the contract that has blank, not initialed or anything, and then I need this to be put through your underwriters. Like, it's obviously too late for tomorrow, but that's where if you've seen this, you can get it moving ahead of time. At least you can go like 90% likelihood that they can go subject free or something like that and then by tomorrow you never know. But if you're not going in with title and PDS or all that crossed out, pre-inspection. Now I'm hearing people doing pre-appraisals, right? So you pay for the appraisal and the inspection before you've even written the offer, which is just like, for buyers, I don't get it, but it's what has to happen if there's someone else doing it, or you just go in without that subject. So, or sorry, you go in risking it, or you keep the subject, I guess. But there's no easy answer there. I know it's the market's slowing, so it's probably not much longer. But yeah, that's to be as clean as possible. Then you're going to call the listing agent. You're going to say, hey, how do I become your best friend? Be curious about them, like build rapport, like truly get to know them, asking about the dates for the sellers, asking about inclusions or exclusions, and figuring out like, how do you make this as easy as possible? How to, like, expressing how easy you're going to be to work with. So winning them over is a big part of your job right now. And if you can get to know them at the open or showings or whatever, that's a big leap. Then get your emotional letter from your buyers and really writing a nice clean letter, right? It's, expressing why they're going to take over. And so that emotional letter has a lot of value in this market. And if you're up against one with a letter and you don't have one, you might as well just shoot yourself in the foot. So don't skip that step. If you have a pre-approval letter from a lender, it doesn't hurt as well. So.
And we have relationships with our mortgage brokers. They'll actually call. Not just a letter. They'll call.
The listing agent? They'll
call the listing agent. Yeah.
It's a slick move. I like it. Just stole it. Doesn't hurt, right? Yeah, no, it's a good idea, man. I really like that. I mean, just gives that extra level of credibility, and you don't have to. I mean, it's nice when the seller hears it on paper, I suppose, but for the broker to be like, this is a nice, clean, smooth, and then they pump your tires a bit too, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like it.
We call it the web of trust.
Yeah, totally. Book about that. Cool. Good idea. Hopefully that helps, Van Beer.
Yeah, I guess. I just want to close them. So.
Well, how about an honest conversation? Is like, this is what the price is. This is what you need to pay to get it. Right.
Well, I did tell them that the market, because I've been working with them for about 2.5 weeks now. So I told them that the condo market's changed now as well. Like, you can't go below asking anymore at all. Like, in order for us to even be in it, we have to go at asking or above.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, 2.5 weeks, I probably haven't learned their lessons yet.
Yeah.
We have people who've been working for months, right? And they keep going into knife fights with spoons type thing. So they have to learn the hard way. So you need to shorten that learning curve because of their time crunch. But, you're going to end up renting or scrambling to find a place if you don't buy this place. What's it worth? Did you guys watch anyone watch the Script Off and Family Reunion?
Yeah.
I watched it this morning, so it was a little sharp. Cody Gibson made dude, so good. And I'll say one thing. He doesn't just say the script. He asks a couple questions, right? So he isolates and he is curious about why, and he figures out, he determines what they're asking, the purpose behind the question. And every time he answers the script, you notice that. So that's why he is just hella good. But one of the things he mentioned was when people want to go in and wait for a property because they think that the market's going to go down. It's like, well, no, this is not your investment property. This is your primary residence. You're going to have Christmas dinners here. You're going to have Christmas morning here. You're going to do all kinds of family events. So what does 1 or 2% extra or under matter when it's this emotional place where you're either going to pay your landlord or you're going to end up moving into this house and taking all these family memories and adding to them, right? So that'll hopefully get you to open up their purses a little more, or wallets. That makes sense.
I did tell them that because right now their landlord is booting them out because he sold his primary residence and is moving into where they are, right? So I just said, if you go rent somewhere else, you'll be in the same situation like maybe 3 months from now or 4 months from now because someone else is going to boot you out now. So, but if you have your own place, you have that peace of mind, right? So even if you do pay a little bit more now, if you're planning on being there for 2 to 3 years, you'll make that up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good. I mean, that's the language. And now just getting them to put pen to paper. So
thank you.
Yeah, good luck. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, I don't want to beat it to death, but I just wanted to say to Nick and Nick, yeah, the FSBOs are a real thing, man. I actually went through Craigslist last week and ended up connecting with one person who's selling. He's a guy who used to be a realtor. He's looking to sell his primary residence. He's already got an area in mind. His only issue right now is that he doesn't have a house to move into. So what I'm offering to do there is keep in touch with him. I've been sending him listings over the week, touch base over the phone a couple of times, showed him, hey, stuff is moving really fast, 4 days on market, 5 days on market. Offered him a few places to go see open houses and stuff over the weekend. But right now it's just a touch and go thing. So, I mean, essentially I was able to make a good connection with him. He ended up being this guy who went to school with my wife back in high school. So, I got to kind of build a connection there as well. But he told me, look, a lot of people have called me, and he said, the only thing I'm going to tell you right now is I'll make you a deal. If you can find me a place I can get into that meets the criteria, this listing is yours. So it's just one of those things. It's an opportunity to kind of work on it. And honestly, there's really not much in the market for what he wants to get into, but he's got a timeline of he wants to get into the place before the school season starts. So his kids starting kindergarten next year, they've got the school in mind, which one they want to be in. They want to be within walking distance there, or within a 5-minute drive. So working on trying to find him a place now. I've got my searches set, parameters are set. Every day when a new property pops up, I email it over to him, follow up with a text. Had a phone call with him over the weekend, and same thing. He said, look, thank you for sending me everything. I just don't see one yet, but let me know if anything else pops up. So I know he's motivated and he's got time, so I don't mind putting the time in. And like you said, Nick, it's a few hours of research and setting up your searches, but it works. And again, I approached it using that script that we had that, hey, I'm just calling to find out if there's any listings that aren't on MLS to get in the hands of people in our office so that they have buyers, and we're trying to search and do that. And that just opened up a conversation. He was very friendly, and it took it from there. I think we were on the phone for about an hour after that, and just kind of getting to build a relationship. So yeah, it's a real thing. It takes a bit of digging on Craigslist, not gonna lie. You do got to go through it, and a lot of people say don't call me if you're a realtor, and you got to kind of respect that a bit. But I like your idea, Chris, of saying, hey, I'd like to help you find something to move into. after. I'm not going for your listing, but let me help you. What are your plans afterward? That's actually a good approach to call those guys. And so you don't have a confrontation with them and you're offering them value right off the bat.
Definitely. Yeah. And we do have a buyer, right? We, the brokerage, always have a buyer. I promise you right now in this market, we of the coaching program would probably have a buyer if you were to just get, and you know, in a real market, non-COVID world, what we can do, like as an example from this coaching program, is let's say that you set an appointment, like we are all going to come over and preview your home for you. And the Surrey guys do a really good job of that. They're like, hey, I got a FSBO appointment. You guys want to come over and preview the home? Then a bunch of buyers agents show up at the house. You want to show some clout, right? So, you know, that's what you do to support as a KW agent. We're just like, hey, we'll go over and we'll just walk through the home, even though it's not on MLS yet. It will be soon, right? So we just do it for each other. So it's pretty neat when you can do that kind of stuff. So, awesome. Thanks, Sharon, Nix and Mick. That's amazing. That's I love that you guys like actually ran with it, right? Like, you know, we give you a tool and then you like test it out, right? And it just becomes sharper. You got to go at it and work it, and eventually it's like it's just one of the many facets of your business. So great. If anyone else has anything to share, awesome. Fire it away. Otherwise, we'll get going. Today's social media, so lots to talk about there. We're good for now. All right. Everybody got a lot of value out of Greg on Friday, by the way. Did anyone reach out to him or connect? Yeah. I sent him a couple pieces of business over the weekend too. It's funny what happens when you talk to people, they're top of mind. And guess what? Contractors just happen to be in my conversations over the weekend, and I sent him a few different referrals. So hopefully you guys can generate relationships like that as well. But that's why you talk to people all the time, because Greg got a ton of business from doing something like this. And if you're talking to your clients, guess who they refer to when you're talking to them. So yeah, hopefully you guys kind of get that understand of what he can offer to your sellers and buyers and stuff too. So good intel there, hopefully. Amin, are you there? Do you want me to run I'll present. It's fine. It's good. So, oh, actually, yeah, breakout sessions in just a minute here, but we pretty much covered our listing presentation a couple weeks ago. You got to see that, right? So who here has created their listing presentation? Who feels that it's presentable by now? Throw in the chat box, raise your hand, whatever it is. If you have a listing presentation, you're confident presenting. Uno. It's 1 for 32. So I'm sure you guys definitely have a few, but yeah. And thanks, Dylan. And that's the truth. It's always improvable. We're always sharpening ours. Like it's just a work in progress, but something to do now. Every time I read it, I go, oh, I could change that. Oh, I could add that. Should have touched on that. So you just make mental notes. So, all right. Are we doing this today, or should we just move right to the commission objections? I think we're a little past our time for, if you guys break into these, won't get into anything else. So what I like you guys to do for listing presentations is set up a time in each other's schedule that you're going to connect with your listing partners and present your listing presentations. Maybe we'll just do that now. So you guys throw it in the chat. If you do not have a scripting partner right now, put your name into the chat with your contact info. See, people left the meeting and we haven't even, we're not even doing it. This is what happens. You guys are so worried about scripting. We're not going to do it today. Oh, pressure. Just kidding. But yeah, thanks. Put your name in there. You guys connect. You're going to find a partner. I should also say, put some times in there that work for you. So go through that chat, connect. I'd like to get 2 or 3 days a week. If you don't have an appointment in the afternoon and you are not prospecting, you should be practicing your presentations. Monday to Wednesday. Perfect. Thank you, Shannon. And so as an example, today, you've committed till noon, so now you got some activities in the afternoon that you need to do to prospect, right? And then after that, you still have some time, at least a half an hour at some point that you can fit in doing your listing presentation and scripting with someone. So that should just be a consistent in your schedule.
Hey, Chris, I think Erica has a question. She's got her hand up.
Yeah. Go ahead, Erica.
No, I was just raising my hand because my listing presentation's cool. I will lower my hand. I'll lower my hand.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Thank you. Good job.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, thanks for getting you a listing, so something's working.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading. Anyone know Grant Cardone 10X? Everyone read that? I was reading that again last night, and one of the things he says is the poker term "all in." Do you understand? Everyone gets that concept of basically you're pushing all your chips in, and it's you're betting that whatever your hand is basically your win or die, right? And so with your business, if you guys have basically pushed all your chips in, you don't have a lifeline of another career at some point, you guys are all in, whether you believe it or not, you're all into real estate. Fair? So if you're all in, you got to put in that all in effort and that all in commitment to sharpening your skills. So scripting, like all in, what does that mean to you guys? What does all in mean for scripting?
Eat, breathe, sleep, think about, try, practice, screw up, do it again, analyze, restart.
Like all day, every day, right? Like if I wanted to become a scripts master, like those folks that are on the stage of Family Reunion, like how do I get there and how quickly can I be there, right? And do you think their pay grade goes up as they get faster and better and smarter at it? So what is your all in for scripting? And how quickly can you commit to that, right? And so there's one. What's your all in for lead generation? If you have only one job now, how many hours a day are you putting in as an all in agent? Where is it in your calendar? Who's holding you accountable, right? So if you are truly all in, like success is not an option, failure is not an option, it's a must, success is breathing, right? Then that's all in to me. So for you guys, like just figuring that out, really starting to hear that in your heart, not just your head, is going to make a big difference. So it's why you guys kind of take that in for a minute. That's why you're practicing these presentations. That's why you're practicing FSBOs, right? Commission objections, all these type of things, because it matters. It pays off big time. Mickey, to answer your question, there's the Slack group for WhatsApp. It's the same thing. Does anyone here not have the Slack app?
I don't have that.
Okay, so in your app store on your phone, go, and then you can do it on your laptop as well, because we can send you anything and everything in Slack. There's channels in there for communicating all this stuff, and so we can even get a scripting channel in Slack that will allow us to. You guys to just say, "Hey, scripting at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. Who's in?" And then boom, it'll just pop up. Okay, so get that Slack going, because I'm sending stuff in there and nobody's responding at all. My team is so good at it. Like we just send everything in there now, but it took a little time to warm it up, right? So once you guys get it, it's the most powerful platform out there for communicating. So I strongly suggest you get the app on your phone, set the notifications, and then just start using that, because it is much better than WhatsApp, and you're able to. I can send you videos and quality content in there that sometimes gets lost on WhatsApp. So.
Can you, I just downloaded the app. I've got it on my laptop, but can you send us the URL for it? So once we sign in, we know exactly which one to go on to.
I will right now, hang on. You guys should have been invited when you joined coaching, but I'll throw this in here again.
Yeah, no, I have it on my laptop, and I do get the updates on there. I just didn't have it on my phone. I didn't know that it was a phone one as well.
Yeah, actually, mostly use it on my phone, to be honest. Oh, look at that. Brent joined. All right, we're getting there. All right, I'm not sure this is the way in here, but I'll just chuck it in the group. Try that if you guys can on your laptops or whatever you're using.
Someone's cat is meowing. I thought it was mine.
Say that again, sorry?
I said somebody's cat is meowing. I thought it was mine, like stuck in a closet. Sounded the same.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Chris, I missed the part. What workplace? What's our address? Or
It should be Real Coaching. So let me see if I can invite people to Real Coaching.
Is there a specific password, Chris, to get onto it? It's asking me for one.
Let's try this one here one more time, if that works. That's a good question. Let me chat with Laura about that.
No, it won't be a group password. That's going to be your account password that it's asking you for. So you probably got to register.
Feel done. Okay, thank you.
The tech ambassador. Thank you.
I like how he swoops in at the last minute.
Yeah, I'm scrambling. Okay, hey, how do you work this? Stupid machine. There you go. All right. So yeah, we'll use this a lot more frequently when we see you guys are active on it. So it's one of those things that if you guys see some other option for another channel, for social media, for example, you guys like see stuff you want to post and share, right? You can send the links to that. My team does a good job of like, we all share each other's wins, but it can also be about good content, or we can have people you sharing stats or whatever, right? So kind of it's limitless. So, oh, look at all these notifications. I like it. So we obviously missed this cue that you guys were not getting it. So thanks. We'll take a minute for you guys to all kind of sort it out. How would you guys feel if we did a brackets style commission script challenge like they did in Family Reunion?
I developed a huge man crush on Cody. As soon as I didn't know who Cody was, and then I just watched him throughout the weekend, and then that, and they're worth aspiring to, for sure.
Yeah, so he was actually my first bold coach when I first started. He's got a pretty cool story. He was like a heavy guy, who's like really out of shape and just didn't take care of himself, and just changed his life, turned it around. And some of his stories about, like, he was in Alaska, you know, that's where he started his business, and he started doing political campaigning. So he had to like read this 7-page script to everyone on the phone, and like that's how he learned how important scripts were. So anyway, it's a pretty neat story, and he'll tell that at some other point. But overall, like, he's as polished as they get for a reason. It's by nothing else than hard work, and he's a great bold coach. Like, he's by far my favorite as far as just was a great connector, you know. And so he's one of the biggest. His team is huge, right? Like, and he's done expansion into just several different states, and he really gets it. So interesting guy for sure. Hard to not like him. And then Anna is really good too, though, right? Like, so she's like, I think, a second generation. Like, her dad's like kind of high up in KW, and you can just see like how important it is to her to know the language too, right? So you can tell these people that take it very seriously. So if we create a script bracket, I'll put you guys together, and then we'll figure it out, make some make it fun. But I think it'll give some bragging rights, and you guys can kind of polish those scripts. And we can do it for anything, but I think the commission one right now would just be a fun one because it's a simple enough one and it's easy to figure out. So is everybody on Slack feeling good? We move on. Good. I'm gonna push forward. So for today, we don't have the brackets created, so maybe we can do it for next week. I figure out if we should just move ahead with it. Amin, H, what do you think? Should we just put a pin in there? So should we,
yeah,
into the ring just for fun today? Commission script ejection, and then we'll do the brackets for next week.
Sounds good.
Okay. Oh, Nick's getting limber. I like where this is going. Does anybody want to step in and handle a commission objection while we're here? All at once? Don't give away your secret sauce. Okay, how about Amin and I do it? You guys vote on us, and then next week you guys do it. How about that? Because I don't know where Hiroshi went. So, is he still here?
I think he's gone.
Is he? Okay. Amin, you want to go first or second? You should always go second. That's what I learned.
Yeah, I'll go second.
All right. Give me the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
All right.
So the other agent said he'll do it for much less. Will you drop your commission?
Yeah, that's a great question, Amin. I appreciate you asking that. And, first of all, is that one of the factors for us to work together?
It's probably not the only factor, but I'd say it's important. It's money at the end of the day.
Okay, understandable, for sure. We want to make sure you guys get the most money possible at the end of the transaction, right? And I totally respect that. So what scares me about that is that this other agent has already offered to reduce their commission and their value, and you're hiring a professional negotiator to represent you to make sure you guys get the most money possible for your home. And what I am seeing is that someone that has been out negotiated by you is now going to represent you in your sale. So what I would say is if they're going to be able to give their money away so quickly, how quick do you think they're going to give your money away?
Yeah, that's a good point. But, you guys all kind of do the same thing, don't you?
Well, when you see what we do and we market your home and expose it to as many buyers as we do and get as many offers on the table as we get, and we end up selling it for some of the top prices in neighborhoods lately, we've setting records all over the place, and I think you'll see that we earn what we make. And if it's all right with you and you get the money that you expect out of your home, is it okay if we earn the money that we take home?
Yeah, just, like today's market, can't anyone kind of sell anything at this point? Like, isn't it fairly easy?
It would appear that way, right? You put a sign on the lawn and yeah, for sure. Just like you could probably sell your house on Craigslist. But at the end of the day, if you position it as the nicest, shiniest, most beautiful property and get more buyers for the home, would you agree that you'll probably get more offers, which would probably mean more money at the end of the day? So a higher sale price for you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's why you need a professional like me to make sure that we expose your home and market it and provide as much information to the public to get as many buyers through here as possible so that you actually net more money when you sell your home working with me.
Yeah, good point.
Well, let's do the right thing and sign the contract
That's right,
today.
yeah.
I'll move
Okay.
it.
Done.
Yeah, you heard me. That's good. I liked it. All right.
Go easy on it. I actually I had a good one. I don't even know if there's a way to handle this. So I had a guy that I've been in contact with for a while. He's actually a property manager, so he's licensed with a brokerage. He called me last week, and he's looking to list his property, but he's obviously got access to realtors in his office, and he's got some connections there, and they want to do it for cheap, but he obviously reached out to me for a reason. So he's I'm trying to think of a good way to handle this guy, because I know he can get it done really cheap, but I don't know if there's a way to handle him right. I think that one's either I do or I don't.
Is he expecting a referral fee, or what's his sort of expectation?
No. I mean, he wants me to list it. I think his only objection is that the guy in his office, his buddy, is willing to do it for cheaper. And I get that, they work in the same office. He's not licensed as a realtor. So yeah, I don't know if there's a way around this guy, but
no, I think you're, this is where you really expose what your marketing plan is and making sure that you get as many buyers through as possible. But then your negotiation is top notch, right? Like you see every opportunity to get extra dollars out of buyers and making sure you get as many buyers through as possible, versus this other guy's got his license, but he's by no means does it for a living. And this is how you feed your families, by negotiating and selling properties for as much money as possible. And I think that would be my angle on it. And then make sure you talk professional photography and staging and doing all these things. And we could just throw it on the market this other guy attempts to do, or we do everything.
He's been tough. Like I've been having conversations with him, but all that kind of stuff I've thrown out, and this is just like for the group so they can kind of see a different animal, I guess. But he's got pictures and all that, because it's a property that he's advertised as a rental property. So his basic thing is, oh, you don't even need to do that stuff because I got all the pictures. You can just use mine. So I'm like, okay. So
are they quality?
Yeah, he sent them over. They're decent. They're not, it's hard to fight them and say that I'm going to get better pictures, right? I mean, they might be 10% better, but
So maybe knock off a little commission because you don't have to pay for the photos, videography, floor plan.
He was floor plan and all that kind of stuff I'm going to do, but just with the video and the picture side of it, he's just like, it's not needed. So I know I definitely got to cut some commission on him.
Because for a referral fee as a professional. Have you discounted a referral fee? I've done that. But it's your negotiation, right? That's, I think, where he's looking to the expert. And
I mean, there's obviously a reason he reached out to me instead of going straight to the guys in his office, right? So he knows there's value there, but he's trying to push it.
Social media, your influence of other agents in your office, right? We got 340 strong here that we can promote it to.
Right.
Working relationship with all the other professional realtors versus having a property manager that's listing your home. They don't have any idea how to work it and how to network.
Yeah, he seems a little sour because he said, I show homes too, and I only get $400 to get a deal done. He's like, you guys are basically doing the same thing, and you want to get $20,000. I'm like, well,
you stood in the wrong line, buddy.
Pretty much, that's what I said without saying it.
I got two of my best friends. They're brothers. One's a cop and one's a fireman. It's like, he stood in the line handing out guns. I stood in the line handing out pillows. He's loving it. Anyway.
Hey, I was going to say, could you not even say that to the guy? Be like, hey, listen, I know you've got a lot of realtors that you're working with and that but you did reach out to me because you see some value in me. What's the value with you, right?
Yeah, and he said it plain and simple, right? He's like, there's a reason I reached out to you, and I know that, I get that, but he can't see past the dollar value, I guess, right? He's having a hard time. It's I know I'm gonna have to give up something, but hopefully it's less than more.
I think a referral fee is absolutely expected.
Yeah.
That's where I would go with it. And then if there's any, you could buy his photos off him or something, but you do your own so you can promote it properly and get it on your own social media, that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Cool.
Just thought I'd throw that one out there because I just faced it this week. So
yeah, it's a good one. All right, you ready to object?
Let's do it.
All right, So another agent came over and did a presentation for us and said they would sell our home for less money. Would you be willing to match that or drop your commission to work together?
Okay. So what's important about dropping the commission for you?
It costs us less money. We just want to make as much as we can from the sale. You guys are expensive.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from. So at the end of the day, is it more important about how much commission you save or what you net on the sale of the home?
I mean, what we take at the end, yeah, for sure. That's most important.
Right. So what I would say is that, I'm not sure who this other agent is, but, when we look at our monthly stats, us as an office and, me as an agent, we usually net 3% more than most other offices do. We just actually had a meeting last week, and the closest office to us was 3% less than what we got for asking price. So, you could definitely go the cheaper route initially, but it may end up costing you more in the long run. Not going with an agent that's professional and, doing the extra little things that will net you more money, whether it's marketing or negotiating. So just something to think about.
So you're saying that you guys sell houses for more money overall as an office?
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I know you see the commission percentage and it appears to be more on paper, but the dollar value you make is going to cover that and probably put more in your pocket at the end of the day.
So you guys sell for more money, but would you be able to take off a little bit of the commission just to make sure?
Well, I mean, Chris. Well, the way I would look at that is that, this other agent, if he's so quick to, reduce his commission, do you think he's going to go that extra mile to net you more money at the end of the day? Maybe he's going to go the quickest and easiest route just to get the job done instead of taking those extra steps to put more money in your pocket.
True. Yeah, it did seem like I just want to get out of here. Okay. Where do I sign?
Right here.
You made me feel guilty.
Good.
All right. Yeah, I think those are really good points, though, and it really is. Thanks, Erica. Good luck. It is
Bye, guys.
great for you guys to leverage the office stats too, right? Like if you guys see those stats every week or month or whatever with Ron, like use those in your presentation until you have your own. And Ron can give you an IMSD stat report, and it'll show you where you sell homes and how much more above listing. Like if it's $5,000 or $7,000 or $12,000 higher than the average agent, that's a big deal. You need to brag that. You need to show that. And until then, just use the office stats. Because if you're worried about some other agent doing it for like $2,000 less, but we're talking about I get more than $12,000 more per home sale, which is great because all you have to do is sell one home higher than the competition right now when everybody's doing it. So pretty easy to pad your stats, if that makes sense. So just being able to use those in your advantage for sure. So yeah, good job, Amin. And so now we don't have anywhere to go from these brackets. We'll just go against Hiroshi, I guess, next week. But for next week, we'll get something together. You and I and Hiroshi will talk on Wednesday and figure something. That'll be kind of fun. So I want you guys to do that, and then we'll have voting and then moving people along. And then we can do it for other stuff. I think we can just continue that. We'll do it quickly so that it moves fast. Any ahas from that? Anything you'd like to take away?
Hi, Chris. I really liked how you painted a bigger picture of what's important here, the commission or what you net in total, because you're painting that picture in front of them and they can better understand, what really is important to them at the end of the day. And so that was my aha. I took notes and wrote that down because I have a couple of commission objections that I already had written down, but I didn't have one that talked about, how much you would net at the end of the day. So I made notes on that one.
Great. I love it. And that's a simple one. 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think Amin and I both kind of expressed that pretty well, and it's very important. So I'm going to show you guys one more. It's better in person, but to steal my wife's business cards here. So when you do a visual like this, it really helps. You pull some business cards out and you go, okay, so here's the commission. This works in the States because it's 6% usually. So here's the commission that this agent's taking from you, and maybe they go down to 5. So let's say that no matter what, we're offering 3 to the buyer's agent. We don't want to ever touch this money because this is what brings the buyers, right? So we have to put the bait in the trap to bring the buyers. So from there, here goes the taxes. Here goes the brokerage and board fees and the expenses of my business. And then here's what's left. So this is what I feed my family with. And so what do you think that agent's going to do with the marketing? Are they going to take the money off the table for their family, or are they going to take some of the marketing away from your property? So right now you're negotiating how well exposed your home gets. So now we got this. Rip it up, rip whatever, right, for visual. But that's a good one too. You can do it on a piece of paper, write it out, use the cards. But it's kind of a good example of, because really, if you show the pie chart of where your commission goes, it truly, there's a lot of costs, right? So
yeah, me and Jane, when we went to a listing presentation 2 weeks ago, the one that we ended up getting the listing for, we had a net sheet, and it basically outlined if we were to sell your house for like $900,000, and then it broke down the commission, how much was going to the buyer's agent, how much was going to staging if that potentially was going to happen, photography, brokerage fees. It was all lined out with estimates.
Right.
Because they did have the commission objection, and we were like, hey, so this is, we, set our objection, and then we're like, this is why, and we did a breakdown. And then at the end of it, they're like, nope, that's understandable. So I think painting that picture in front of them, because they don't really know where it all goes. So
you just take it head on, right? You just, instead of, do you have any questions at the end? They go, will you reduce your commission? You're like, versus, this is why, this is where it goes, educating them. Yeah, objection removed. It's great. Good job.
Thank you.
That net sheet's actually very important. So I just usually do it on the back of a piece of paper for folks. And sometimes we'll have, like, I've had it before. It's like part of the presentation. You go through and you fill it out. You get what their mortgage is, what they owe, what the prepayment penalties will be, cost of clearing title, all that kind of stuff, right? And then they feel like they've truly had a consultation versus like, hey, we're gonna throw the market, see what happens, and by the end, there'll be some money out here and there, and you'll figure it out. Lawyers will talk to you, right?
Yeah.
Is it 5,000? Is it 50,000? How much? What are we talking here?
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't handle that, people are very uncomfortable. So good job for having that as part of your system.
Thank you. I think one of the biggest concerns is that people don't know where their money's going. And so once you justify that, then they're like, okay, no, this makes complete sense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you guys can attest, it is an expensive business to be in. So people that are selling like 2 homes a year struggle to figure out where that money is going to go, and they need every penny. People sell lots of homes a year, then they have more money to put back into your property and be able to like pay from this home to the next home to market and promote themselves. And so it's actually very important people understand that like this is a costly business. Otherwise everybody would be in it. Right? So good. I'm glad. Feel free to like share that with folks if you want the net sheet. There's another one in the wiki site somewhere. It's an old one. So if you guys have something pretty, I'm sure people would appreciate it. So you guys more or less know what the net sheet looks like. So I would suggest doing what Shannon and Jane did and building something like that for yourself as part of your presentation. You can do it online, however you guys are going to do it. But
I actually got the net sheet from Ma'am Veer because she got it from another agent at the Surrey office. And so just forwarded that to me, and then I kind of just, like, it has a template, and I filled it in with whatever number that their home will potentially sell for, and then just printed it. It was super quick.
Yeah, well, there you go. If Mandry wants to share it, that's great. However, this is just kind of open where we all, win together. How do you handle commission objection from friends and family? I usually charge them more because they're big ass pain in the ass. So, to be fair, it's really up to you. And I offer a friends and family discount where we charge 7 and 3.5, and then we'll go down to 7 and 3 for friends and family. So, and really good friends, I'll give them a bit of a discount, just because, and it really depends on their financial situation, to be honest, right? Like, if they need every penny and I'm squeezing them for every penny, I feel like that may not be the best thing for them. And I know you guys are in a different world where building a business, you need every penny, and that's only fair that you guys get paid for what you're offered, right? What do you do for, like, so here it is, actually, at the beginning of my career, I definitely gave my brother a discount, but I got the full buy side. And then other people I've worked with that are like really close to me, I would usually discount them a bit on the listing side, but I'd always keep the buy side as being close friends and family. But by all means, they are harder. They're more challenging. They break boundaries on appropriate times to call you. And there's like emotion that runs high, and there's a lot of reasons why it's worse to work with them. So your hourly rate may go down, but at the end of the day, it's what's starting your business. Sometimes you got to work with your sphere, your friends, your family, so they trust you. But now they also know that you're newer. So because you're newer, they may expect you to give a bit of a discount. And that's okay. If you're getting paid full on the buy side, I'd still take the listing all day. Don't worry so much about what you're getting paid as the job you're doing, the service you're providing, the referrals you're earning, the experience you're getting. I appreciate that, Amin. I remember the story. It's, go around to like 75 houses or something stupid like that. Like, yeah, it's awful at times, right? And my mom was one of my hardest clients, right? Like, I sold her place and she would not, I said I was selling it for free because she gave me life. It's kind of a, fair trade, I thought. And then we came on the market, and like a week later, the market went, and we just like chased the market down, and it was really hard. And I was, emotional because I was like, I don't want to give away more of her money, but I was like trying to explain that we had to get ahead of the market and not going too far ahead, and it was really challenging. So anyway, these things happen. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but I'd say that if you're gonna negotiate your commission with your friends and family, I would say you have to figure out what they do for a living. And it's like, okay, so you are a contractor and today you're going to go work for less money doing the same thing you did yesterday. How do you feel about that? Right? So just having them step into your shoes, like, you're expecting me to do this for less, and you don't want to drive a wedge between you guys in the relationship though, right? Like, this is what I see way too often in this business, is relationships get ruined because of money. So don't let the dollar figures get in the way of your relationship, because it really does affect people in a funny way. So just be cautious. I know I have too many colleagues that have had altercations with friends and family because of real estate, and it gets hot, right? Which is why you want to stay objective. It's not easy sometimes. Imagine if my mom had fired me, right? So, or Amin's father-in-law had been like, dude, whatever. It's like, I just drove around for 7 months and now we're whatever. So that's the point. So staying focused on just doing a great job for them, and it's not about that. And right now you're working to learn anyways. So anything is just icing on the cake. That answer that, hopefully, a little bit. Yeah, and there's no manual there. Sorry, but everyone has a different relationship. If it's like a brother versus extended family, it's like, it can be way different, right? So, all right, I want to get into Facebook and stuff here because this is an important one. I think I'll keep it short and sweet. And you guys, I'd love to actually mastermind around this more, and you guys share what you're doing, what's working well for social media. But what I want to express very clearly is that your social media is a separate database, right? So you have a CRM, you got Command or Top Producer or your phone or whatever it is that you're using to keep contacts in that you would, do your drip campaigns or your mail outs and that kind of crap. Your database on Facebook is your group of friends, right? So in your CRM, you have everybody labeled as investors, first-time buyers, sellers, past clients, sphere, whatever those labels are in your CRM. So now in your database on Facebook, specifically, this is the easiest way to do a friend list. But so creating people that you want to have lists for, okay? So your family, people that are like close to you in that world. So you're gonna have a different message going out to your family than you would to agent referrals or business contacts or your top clients, right? So those are your like 5 friend lists. And so you create these lists, however you do these lists exactly, how you rename them, be careful with it because you can't delete these lists. Once you create them, if you look on your Facebook, it will always be there, right? So don't just make a bunch of lists and then edit them because you can't. Like once they're on there, for whatever reason, you can never get rid of them without actually calling Facebook or something. I don't know. So anyway, I have done it a couple times and I'm not happy with a couple of the lists I made. So I just created new ones, but now they're there forever. So just so you know. So you got the family, top 500 clients, top 500 business agents. So whether those are inside your market, so like, I don't know, agents from Vancouver or agents from Toronto or agents from Nicaragua or whatever, right? So you're going to have a different conversation with the people that are in Vancouver agents, right? So that might be like more profit share, downline, people you're trying to recruit to KW versus people in Toronto. So you might even have a second list if you're the type of person that is looking to build your profit share or recruiting or building a team. So local agents versus outgoing agents, right? So, and then your niche. So for example, Burke Mountain is like where I live. So I would have my farm area and I would actually have people that live in my, or even Coquitlam or whatever, but live in my circle of homes that I want to focus on so that anytime I post stuff that's local content, I make sure it's going out to those people specifically, okay? So that's a very simple way to organize how your communication is going out to certain people, and then you can create a schedule for posts for each of these people. So your family, mostly personal. They do watch you, so you do want to have a little bit of business trickled in there. Top 500 clients, you're, again, creating those relationships and strengthening them. Strengthifying, that's a word of the day. Use it. Top business is a lot more, again, like referring them business and like lifting each other's businesses up. So like, don't get into the motivational post crap though. Don't do inspirational quotes, right? Like you guys know what happens when you see that stuff. It's just overwhelming and it's nonsense and it's useless. So be careful what you're doing with that. But if you're sending direct messages or messaging that group of people, so with businesses, you can do giveaways or question of the day or that kind of stuff. And same with your clients. Keep the conversation about them, right? This is kind of pretty simple, but if you look at a couple people online, so here's a guy, Kirby Chan, Kirby Chan, CHAN. So watch him, see what he does. There's some great YouTube videos, some great content on KW Command and Connect for videos on a guy that does basically his entire business. He'll do, from 50 to 100 deals this year, 75 deals, we'll say, from Facebook, right? Just from mining Facebook. And that means he's just on there. He just looks for people that are having life-changing events. He messages them, oh, see, you're pregnant. Congratulations. When's the new home? Right? Whatever those things are. But he's looking for opportunities to message people and they respond right away, which is nice, right? So continuing to organize it and filter people through. When you do add friends, you have to put them into a category. Otherwise, they tend to get lost and then they get left behind and they don't get into those messages. And I have to go back every once in a while and be like, okay, did I put that person in versus I just add them as a friend? And then if I don't categorize them, it's a mess. So So then, like with anything, you guys know what DTD2 is? Anyone heard of this? So DTD2 is a bold deal. So when you guys take bold, you'll understand it. But basically, they want you to speak to your A's and F's and your B's and J's and your like whatever it is. So there's 26 letters in the alphabet. Happens to be 52 weeks in the year. So they break it down into how many times you're going to talk to your database over the course of a year. So you break it down into, in 1 quarter, you're going to talk to everybody in your database. Does that make sense? So that's why the DTD2 will carry you through, and then you're going to just continue to recycle that every quarter. And then they'll go DTD4 when they go into bold, so they actually want to double down on that. So you actually want to do it every 6 weeks. And that's where you're like really being purposeful around communicating. And so you got to have a system for it, right? Like you have to figure out what you're going to say, when you're going to say it. So you just, I mean, it takes a little bit of time, but what does it take? Maybe 2 hours to go, okay, I'm going to get a calendar and I go, okay, what am I going to talk about on this week? What am I going to talk about next month? What am I going to talk about? I'm just creating that so that you don't have to think about what you're posting, what your messages are going out, because you've got a system, right? Imagine if you actually were running a business where you wanted to put out information that people thought was valuable, that you thought maybe would have them communicate back to you and reach out to you and message you back. Imagine if you're running a business like that. I don't know. Would you have some sort of a calendar of things that you put out there? Or would you be like, oh, that's shiny, I'm going to post it? And I'll tell you what, 90% of agents are the latter. There's something, I'll share it. Oh, I'm going to put that one on my page. Versus this week last week was like stats, because it was, we all got the stats on Thursday or whatever. So you post the stats. And then this week is, so you just create your content calendar, and then you create, I would probably send the stats in to all of my top clients, right? And then I have a little message there saying, hey, just letting you know, this is what's going on in our world, right? So yeah, life-changing events, we kind of talked about that. And then, so when you get into like Instagram now, there's like a 3-2-1 rule, right? So 3 likes, 2 comments should get you 1 follow, right? So if I go to a business page of whoever, Poco Soapco, and I like 3 of his posts, I comment twice, he'll follow me back, almost guaranteed every time, right? So that's your sort of recipe for getting followers. And then following their list of followers, right? And then just naturally that starts to build quickly. My wife just took over my Instagram because she's tired of watching me do it. And she's like, oh, I just got you like 400 followers over the weekend. I'm like, well, that was good. I should have probably had you do that sooner. But it's just one of those things that if you aren't good at it, you can have someone go out and go in. So creating stuff on Canva. So everyone knows what canva.com is, right? So you can go to Canva, you can get some really simple templates. You can buy them, or you can have someone create it. You guys figure out what your color scheme is and stick to it, right? And then creating your page. And from there, you can look at really high quality and then figure out who those people are that are doing a really good job of posting and sharing stuff. And are they getting engagement from that, right? So you figure out what it's supposed to be, how you're supposed to, how you like it to look just from other people. So if you're not good at it, it's okay to hire someone for a couple $100 to create those Canva templates. It's okay to do that short term. The command templates are fine. Your followers won't know the difference if everyone else uses the same thing. You can tweak them anyways, right? You can use InDesign in Canva. So there's lots of opportunities there. Don't overthink it and don't spend a ton of time doing it. But when you have a new listing, you got coming soon, you got just listed, you've got open houses or showings, or you've got accepted offer, subject sold, possession day. Like there's 6 or 7 that come from every piece of business you do. And if you don't do it for everyone and have a template created for each one, you're not going to do it because it takes too much time. So you just plug the photo in. And then more importantly, share the story behind what happened. People want to know what happened in your world. They're so curious. You don't know it. Maybe you do, but you were the most interesting person in your group of friends. Before you had your real estate license, what did you do when you go in the bathroom? What did you do when you had any free time? What did you do when you had like time to kill? You're on realtor.ca. You're looking at properties. Everyone did it. Everyone still does it. Like, you live the life people wish they had taken this chance and done this. You heard Greg Bartz, right? He's a successful contractor. I wish I was a realtor, right? Like, this is the reality of everyone you know. They're really interested in what you do. So share them little snippets of your life, but also share like what happened when you got a deal together. Share like how the deal came together. And if you look at like Devin Ainsworth Homes, check her out. She does a really good job of sharing the back end. Like, oh, we got these buyers. We wrote on a few different places. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. We finally found this perfect place for them, and they fell in love with it. We got the deal together, and the story behind that, and like, that's what people care about, and they'll actually read it and connect with her, versus like just sold. Right? There's no emotion there, and they've already forgotten her name. Right? And so they truly want to see what you're doing, and it matters. It truly does. So. So that was a lot of talking by me. What else, guys? Who else is doing other things? Who is? I don't even like social media. Like, I'm not a fan of it. I want to do this. I want to do face-to-face stuff, but I know that social media is it's like not having a cell phone. If you don't have social media in this day and age, you might as well just go get a rotary dial phone and start calling people up. So I'm not saying it has to be on point. I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but you're definitely missing a tool in your business. So,
hey, Chris.
Yeah.
So I think I'm probably a good example of someone just getting started with this with no direction. So I have about 1,000 friends and followers from traveling and from business and from life on Facebook. Awesome. There's some real rapport built up there. But Instagram, I set up my professional account, and it's just a whole bunch of realtors that we all just seem to find each other.
Yeah.
So my first post was me sitting at the computer during family reunion. Then it was a listing I went on. Then it was my headshots. And now I'm just like, how many more pictures of me doing real estate stuff do we need? I didn't post the stats. It felt like, why am I posting these when all my followers are only realtors, when they're all doing the same thing? So looking for a first 30 days kind of way to start.
Yeah.
Or someone to, yeah.
I think you need to get a little bit more content on your site. I haven't looked at it, but just from what you just explained. So you need, I don't know, at least a dozen more posts to say like it's enough for people. Like, I don't want it to be like, I can't scroll on your screen without seeing white below. How's that? You know what I mean? So at least get enough content on there that it shows that you have an active page, and maybe it's only like 15 posts, but so go to other people's sites that you like, other realtors, is fine, and see what their posts are that you think would be in quality, engaging. Doesn't have to be like just sold, because it's fair, but and it might have to be a couple of motivational quotes, or at least inspirational, like, investors make more money than anyone else in real estate's a great vehicle, or whatever, that kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be like, Mondays are for winners, but at least something that are like getting business-minded professional quotes out there, and then just some content like that. At least that way, when you go to like other people's pages and follow their pages, they're going to come back and look at yours, and you're going to have enough content on there. They're going to go, okay, this guy's legit. Not like, oh, it's his third day on Instagram, and that's where people will not follow you yet. So you can just do one post a day for the next 2 weeks, and then from there start following other people's followers. So look at people that you like and follow their followers.
Okay, good start. And then I'm a bit caught up with logo branding. I'm a solo agent. That's the plan for the foreseeable future. I'm in talks with a couple of teams, but having that Brent D. Raymond real estate sort of brand and color scheme, I'm kind of caught up in that a little bit. I want to just get that sorted out and move on. And my thought is, stick with Keller Williams color scheme for now, and just I'm an agent with Keller Williams. I don't know if that makes me too cookie cutter or not differentiated enough, but
it's a good question. I don't think. Yeah. I think it has to do with. I mean, if you're just going to follow KW's thing, I don't think you have to worry about branding yet. So there's a couple options. One is you can go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. You can go to 99 Designs. You can pay like $300 to $400, and they'll make you a logo with your color scheme, and they go back and forth with you until you like it. And you get a bunch of different people that will do it. It's just kind of a cheap way of getting branding done, and it's enough. Which I think I ran like my Ackerman team probably 7 years on that terrible house design, right? And like you see it everywhere, and I don't even care. I don't think it made a big difference either way. But there's an option anyway. Now you figure out what your colors are, like what you like, and yeah, KW is fine, but I wouldn't put a lot of stock in it right now. Like I'd rather you guys have a bunch of conversations with people, and they don't care. They really don't, man. They want to trust you. They want to like you. So if you don't have a brand, or if it's just like the stock KW agent one and doesn't say BR or whatever, and you happen to have someone in your family that has some pretty good branding, you might talk to them about, right? She's done a great job. So there's spitball, just, there's a connection there, but you got to do what you like, man. It's your brand, and it's going to change, and mine's always changing too, right? So just don't put a lot of stock or time into it yet until you've got, and then really you can like actually hire someone to do this for you. Once you got some money coming in, you go, okay, well, I'd rather do it properly and have someone, pay someone a decent amount of money. Like, MRKT Market Realtors. So they used to be Local Living. So Jay Dryberg, does anyone follow them? They're in the Maple Ridge office, but they just rebranded like last year. And I think he did a really good job of rebranding. They were Local Living before, which was not a bad brand. And then they split ways. And then so Rob went one way and Jay did MRKT Market, right? And so I think there's an opportunity there that he paid someone a fair bit of money to get a whole branding package and presentations and all this stuff, right? So don't go there yet. By any means, keep your money in your jeans. But there's an opportunity there to kind of see where people are doing and decide what colors and what font and that kind of stuff. And then you just kind of stay with it, though. You got to stay with it for a while. At least let your feed look like we lost our social media girl 2 weeks ago, and then I had my wife, my assistant, myself, all doing different posts. And if you look at Synergy's last 2 weeks, it's like, oh, right? So don't use that as the example, because like our fonts went weird, our colors went different, and it's we're really busy, so you just kind of go ahead and it's not pretty, but soon enough it'll be buried. That's the other part of it, right? So you just kind of move forward. So and that reminds me, if people are looking right now, there are people looking to hire to do paperwork. So if anyone is looking I wouldn't say learn how to do paperwork. If you got a little bit of a confidence in submitting deals, there are people that are looking to have some support in their business, and they'll pay you to do their paperwork and they're obviously not good at it and they need help yesterday. So reach out to me and I'll connect you. If you are good at paperwork and you enjoy doing it, I want a little bit extra money. If you are not good at paperwork, don't reach out to me, because I don't want to set you guys up to be doing something you're not enjoying, as well as taking time away from prospecting. Okay, like this is not like a full-time job. This is just a little bit of support here and there, a few hours a week. I don't know what it could turn into, whatever you guys want it. But anyway, there's an opportunity there for somebody. Yeah. All right. Does that answer your question enough, Brent? You feel like a little bit of guidance there? It's a work in progress, man. And honestly, it's watching videos and seeing other people doing it and just kind of failing forward. And if you're not passionate about it, stick to what you know.
Yeah, the consistent message is clear. That's the one that keeps coming back to me, is whatever you decide to be, whatever you choose to put out there, be consistent with it.
Agreed. Yeah, and it will evolve. So don't think you have to stick with it forever, but just try not to hop around every week. So like me. No, kidding, but sort of. Anyone else want to share anything they're doing for creating their database, or are we going to move on? This is totally open forum. You guys have done anything you really find that would be helpful for the group?
I think, sorry, I think on Facebook, it's joining a bunch of different groups, a bunch of local groups in the area, and then be engaging on all the posts, because then people see you and they react to your comments. You can build your way really well on Facebook. And then same thing with Instagram. I use location. So I'll type in like Vancouver or whatever. And so you know all the people that you're reaching are in Vancouver or Port Moody, Port Coquitlam. And it's a lot of just like following those people, commenting on their posts, liking their pictures. And for the most part, most of them will follow you back. And then they're part of your database.
1,000%. Yeah. And it's on you to build a relationship from there for sure.
Yeah.
Someone just asked you separate your business from your personal. And I would say at the beginning, no, until you have enough volume that you're wanting to go separately. Like I'm just Ackerman Real Estate in my one Instagram. And then I have Synergy, which is like my business that I own. You look at like Garbett Dumas, like James Garbett has more activity and followers on his personal page than he does. And they don't care what he's doing. They don't care about his business. They like his stuff because they're kind of friends and stuff. But for now, you don't have enough volume of people. Most agents at the beginning of their career, I should say, don't, and it's just not worth doing it. And are you going to manage both pages well? Don't overcommit to doing 2 pages, guys. It's a lot of work, right? I do 1 page poorly. So I have other people to do that for me. Thank goodness. So yeah, stick with 1 for now. And then, oh, lucky guy. All right. Yeah, I hope that is simple enough. Just stick with 1 until you're, unless you like come from a background in this and you've already got like a game plan of how you're going to launch your business and you already have a personal page from some other, and people only know you there. That might be a reason, but that's a unique situation. So now online, you've got Facebook and IG ads. So this is where Keller has finally like stepped into the ring, and our Facebook ads are pretty good. I think doing that and getting them into command, you can actually funnel them into your database right away from Facebook. Amon and I are on different worlds with this. Like we're getting ready to launch it and be able to give you guys leads from Facebook ads that Keller's going to provide, like Elite. And so it does work. We're like trying to fine tune whether or not it's worth doing yet, because there's still some glitches in command that we're not super happy with, but it's right there, like at our fingertips. It should be in the next couple months. So you can do it right now, Facebook ads, and like create, I had a foreclosure and I promoted it on Facebook, and I just, sent it out to like Tri-Cities, and then, you end up getting 50 people contacting you, hey, what's more information? So those are 50 people you just put into your database, just like that, from spending $20, right? Pretty good ROI. You obviously have to connect with them and turn them into a relationship, and that's no different. So liking them, following them, getting them into their circle, that's a big thing. So it works. You just gotta you fine tune it, you make it yours. And I don't like this stuff. Like I said, I'm not into Facebook, so I don't do a great job of following up once I get them into my web. I'm like, okay, I got their contact info, and like I'd rather talk to you versus Facebook message you for 4 days until we actually become friends. It's just, to me, bleh. But that if it's your world, it's a really good way to go about it. So with your page, 5-to-1 posts, real estate, every 5th or at least 4th post. Don't just do sold, listed. Like, get some people want to see that you're a human being. It's pretty important, to be honest. And I don't do a great job of that. I think I do too many sometimes, and then I try not to put my kids on too much anymore, because I think that's just where my head's at. So get onto Google Alerts, figure out local information, news, market stats, that kind of stuff, and then you can post that stuff. So Reddit's got some really good content. Buzz Homes got some good content. Like find some local rags that give good information. You can repost. So that's great for you, Brent. If you're looking for content right now, just look at some of these other sites and then repost it, share it, that kind of stuff. There's no shortage of content. Just you got to figure out who you want to be known for, what type of information you're providing. Try not to be conspiracy theory crap, but other than that, so then, yeah, going into your friends list of friends, following your friends, connecting with your friends of friends, right? That's where you're going to start to build the following. And like, was it Shannon? Were you the one that mentioned like buying and selling groups? So like Gemma from my team is the TCMG, Tri-Cities Moms Group. She's like, more business comes from that for her than anything else because she's just always active on there. Someone posts this, she gets tagged from this. So being relevant and then being on it from, if whatever city it is, whatever type of group. So like these are the Tri-Cities Moms Group to me is a beast. There's like 8,000 women and they're all opinionated and they all share stuff and they are all very well, they can be very supportive and they can be really nasty too, to be honest. It's a really fine line. But the point being is that there's a ton of business that gets pushed through. Like they support each other's local businesses really well. And there's some really great other groups out there. Like you can go Vancouver Buy and Sell. Someone's doing a garage sale. Well, hey, looks like you guys are getting ready to downsize. What are you thinking? Have you spoken to a realtor, right? Like just figuring out these groups is great. Marketplace, there's business to be had there. There's people that are listing their home on Marketplace now. So it's no different than a FSBO, right? People are putting their freaking houses on Facebook. There will be an MLS on Facebook within the next 5 years. I'm certain of it. So reaching out to other businesses. Are you looking for more business? This is like the simplest question. Hey, I've got clients that might be interested in your HVAC company. Would it be okay if we connected and I supported you? Would you give my clients a 10% discount if I sent them there to you first time, whatever it is, right? So, and then the golden question, this is like, you just need to own this question in your business. If you have a client looking to buy or sell, a friend looking to buy or sell, whatever this is, who would you recommend they work with? Who would you introduce them to? And then you got your 4 potential answers, right? You, awesome. Another agent, they might be too busy. Friend or family, you got an objection for that. And don't have anyone yet. How do we run that business? Okay, so those are really good questions, and you can put that right into the chat, right? Just text it. So what you want to do is kind of create a script, put in your notes, and you save it. So when you're starting to connect to people, it's sort of a standard conversation with some of these messages. So there you go. Questions, thoughts on that? I know I'm kind of ripping through, but I don't teach this stuff at a high level because you can see I'm not passionate about it. That's why I refer to experts like Kirby Chan, who I'm stealing a lot of his content in here, to be honest, because like he does it all day, every day for a living. This is what he loves to do. And like, I do this stuff, to be fair. I just don't do it consistently because I just don't get joy from it. So if this is something you guys really like doing, and if your friends in Sphere are under 40, under 30, it's a very different world, right? If you have like a bunch of first-time home buyers under 30, I'd say at least half your lead gen is online. Half your lead gen is in social media, if not more, right? If they're above 40, you can go in these Facebook groups and you can do this stuff, but like, I'm 41 and I didn't grow up with a Facebook attached to my thumb, right? Like I didn't get into this until my 30s. So I'm not really that excited about it. Versus someone that's like, they just live and breathe it, that's how it is. So figure out where you are. Like as Shannon, for example, like everyone will automatically respond to a message you sent out on Facebook or IG. Agreed?
Yeah.
Like instant response.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Within 5 minutes on if someone likes something on your page, like instant response. Versus if Brent, just because Brent you're chatting, if Brent sent it out there, he may never get a response, right? From his and me too, right? Like this, like it just goes into the cloud and disappears, and that conversation never takes place. So you got to figure out where you guys are at, and like Shannon and some other folks on this call could probably be doing a better job teaching this class than me, because they do this daily. And
I've like grown up in this social media century.
Yeah. Right? It's like, look at my kids on the iPad already. It's scary. There's 3 and teach me stuff in a week. So that's just the world. So you guys figure out how much time you want to devote to this, to putting into your business. But if I'm under 30, I'm working it hard. I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to classes. I'm learning. Canva. I'm teaching you stuff that you guys already know. And then another generation, you guys need to have it, but it's not as important as belly to belly. Like Shannon's folks, again, as an example, like they're okay to just do an entire transaction by text. Right?
It depends. Like
I'd say 80%
to have a phone call in there, but
yeah, 80% of it can be done by text, and you're okay with that. You don't feel you've lost anything in the relationship. Versus myself, I'm like Brent, like same. I think if you're not like belly to belly and face to face and having phone calls, they're like, man, this guy is not personal at all. He doesn't get me. Versus like Shannon, your world is like they actually are okay, and they feel uncomfortable talking too much on the phone.
Mm-hmm. It depends on the client. Like if I'm talking to someone around my age, then yeah, the texting, but it really depends on the client and what they like. Because personally, I do like the face-to-face and the phone calls.
It's the only way to build a relationship. But I'm also going to meet people on their map as a professional. So if I'm talking to 30-year-olds, I'm texting them more. I'm going to have to message them through social media more. Versus I'm talking to 40-plus-year-olds, I'm like, they want to hear from me. They want to see me, right? And you get the odd 1 or 2 that are like super tech savvy or the opposite, right? And so but as a professional, you got to be able to go over to their map. You got to be able to meet them on their preferred method of communication. That's the point to this.
Yeah, exactly. But to put things in perspective, like I've had Facebook since I was 7 and Instagram since I was probably 10. So that's like years of.
You grew up. It's I didn't have a cell phone until I was 26, right? So
you're 26.
Yeah. I purposely, like, for a few years, I just didn't get it because I'm like, it just felt like an electric leash, right? So, and it still is. So that's an absolute leash. I can never get away from it. But now it pays me pretty well, so I accept it. Yeah. Anyway, so there's the difference, right? And Brent's like, yeah, for sure. So, freaking cell phones. Anyway, yeah, I don't have much more to add to that, I think. And there's obviously classes you guys can take. Like, we'll get James Garbett, we'll get Denny, we had Jordan McNabb last time. I'll get someone in for the next cycle of this. We just ran out of time to get someone I can interview him. But if you look back on our last quarter, we had an interview with Jordan McNabb during this class. And I didn't really get to talk much about this because he just does it at a high level and shared a lot. So look in the video library on last, whatever been November, December. I think Jordan had some really good insights and stuff on what he does. He just makes it fun, right? He just shares everything in his life on social media. That's part of it. He's always looking and he's like, hey, you know what? It pays me well. As much as he's like documenting his kids, anything, everything he's doing, that's what he wants to do. And that's where he gets his business. So people follow him and they feel that they know him. But when he walks in the door, he is almost like this celebrity type of introduction, which is pretty cool. So, but again, we'll interview more people. If there's someone else you'd like to hear from, I think they'd be flattered to be able to share. So if you guys, Jane, you've been working with Garbett Dumas for a while. You probably, learned a little bit from them. I'm sure you could probably be teaching this class better than me. So.
No, you're doing great.
Oh, thanks, Gramps. Yeah, but I mean, end of the day, like there's people out there who do really high level, and I'd be happy to bring them in, interview them. So if you guys have anyone specific, they don't have to be KW, right? It's like someone at another brokerage, or even like another guy you can follow, Ty Corsi, right? The guy's a beast. He again shares everything he does a really good job telling the story.
I actually took his course on social media. I actually sat in during, I think it was the Fraser Valley board meetings that I went to. I'm not sure why I was there, but I was there back when I was an assistant.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, cool, social media. I was young. And so I went there and I actually learned quite a bit. They are big on videography. They think that videos are the way to go, and that's how they get all their stuff. But they're really great.
Yeah, they're a fun group. You can tell they have a lot of fun, and they video everything, right? And it's like they're very consistent.
Consistency is the king. Yeah. I follow Ty Corsi. I think if you really want to see social media, Instagram at its finest, but it's easier said than done, because when you're super busy, and those guys are at a whole other level. I'm not videoing myself for every showing, every offer, and it comes across as like a consummate professional, and it's all him with just his hand out most of the time. So but it's tough. It really is. It's a tough thing.
And so you can arm yourself with a few things to be able to do this. Thanks, Nick. That's a good point. And I think it really is a lot of just him getting more and more comfortable. And if you were to look 5 years back, I bet you he'd be like in front of the camera too, right? So now he's smooth and polished and comfortable there. And it didn't happen overnight. Just like with anything, your scripts aren't great yet. Well, they will be soon enough. So just doing it over and over until you get comfortable. And luckily, the people that are watching right now are the people that already like you, right? And so they'll begin to like trust you more and seeing you're out there doing it, and that's what they want to see, so they trust to refer you. But you can get yourself like a gimbal for like $200. It's one of those ones that auto rotates. You can go online at Best Buy. I think they're like $1.89. So it's not an expensive purchase, but it'll give you some really good quality. So you walk around, it's smooth, right? And you just get the app. You can get a microphone. So a wireless microphone, you put it on your lapel, and the sound quality is very, very important. And that's like $20 purchase, right? We're not talking high-end videography. You guys all have like an iPhone 8 or better, I hope. And if you're there, we're good. You can get into a 12 and like it's awesome, but you don't need that, right? So go get a microphone for sure. If you want to get a gimbal, you can get a $30 selfie stick with a button that turns it on and off with Bluetooth. You can do that. At least it's a little further away from your face if you're into that. So that's it. And then get better. You can continue to add. You can get like a ring light, right? So that gives you nice lighting. Like a lot of the girls that do like makeup stuff or eyebrows, they have a ring light. They're $80 for a good one. You get a $30 one, whatever. But if you're gonna do videos in your office, it gives you proper lighting. Simple stuff, right? Lighting, mic. Don't overthink it, but if you're going to start making videos, there's some really good tools to have. So I think that's about all I can add to that. If you know anyone that should be in coaching, you know the drill. Pass them our way. Bring them to this. We love new referrals and your guys' friends that are in the business. You guys are out there doing showings and you're meeting new people that are not getting trained. Like, let Ron know. Let us know. We want to help build each other's businesses, help you build your downline, get passive income. Yeah, there you go. I guess I ran out of content. That's a first. We didn't do the commission objections and the listing presentation. I thought this would take a lot longer. I thought we should be sharing more stuff. So up to you guys. We can do some commission objections next week. We're going to build a bracket. If you guys want, I can leave you to get into a partner. We're not going to do on it here. You guys can get off of this. Or Amin, you want to put them in breakouts? You there, Amin? And do listing presentations for a little bit? Yep. Okay. How's that sound? We'll do 15 minutes of listing presentations. So if you have a listing presentation, This is your chance to get rid of this. Share it with someone that is newer. Why don't we do this? Because as soon as I do this, everyone's going to bounce off the call. I've been here before. This isn't my first rodeo. So if you're planning to leave now. If you want to work on your listing presentation and get stronger, if you're planning on being in this business in 2 years, stick around. I like it. That's good. That's less people. Good. We're still at 19. Oh, 20 that came back. How about that? All right. So we'll break you up into basically 10 groups. Oh man, there they go. Hold on. I'm gonna put this together, and so what's gonna happen is you might have a couple people bounce out, and then we'll try to reconnect you. In worst case, we'll get you into a group of 3. Okay, but they'll be a nice, simple. Just rip through your presentation, take what you like, make each other a little uncomfortable by taking the ums, right? And yeah, be gentle. Practice to win. Any questions?
I have nothing prepared, so if you can put me with someone who has the presentation, I can be the objectioner.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If it's a third, maybe that's perfect for Brent to watch. So whichever. If you don't have a presentation, let us know. Good luck.